Hi, everybody. Welcome to Live. My name is Jack.
My name's Jake.
We are at Island Music Company. Jake, let me tell you,
Okay.
today's been one of those days.
Yes.
We've just been running around like crazy. Also, I feel like I need to specify because it could be, I'm not as close to the camera as sometimes I think I am. These are Celsius Energy, what are they called? Seltzer waters or whatever.
I don't know. It's something that all you drink.
They're not White Claws. I've had people say, look, the cans look like White Claws. I'm like, yeah. And then we always talk, and like people that drink White Claws, we sit around and be like, well, I like the peach better than the kiwi. Kind of like with White Claws, you're like, well, I like the black cherry better than the pineapple.
Yeah.
And so I want to make very clear, I'm not up here double fisting White Claws. These are Celsius Live Fit Peach Vibe, sparkling white peach. That's it. Zero sugar, no alcohol. That's it. I just felt like I needed to put that disclaimer out there that I'm not just at work double fisting White Claws and yelling about guitars. I'm yelling about I'm yelling about guitars, and I am double fisting, but they're not White Claws. There's no alcohol here. They're just energy drinks. And today's a day where you need two of them.
Yeah, that seems to be all your choices, those drinks.
I think it's just because they sell them next door.
Probably.
There's just this convenience of not having to drive anywhere. You take a 2-minute walk total.
I mean, it used to be dashing.
You used to have to walk all the way down the dash in. You get 3 mixtapes while you were there. And then in the parking lot, for those who don't get it, you know. And then, but now next door, they just got this fridge full of Red Bull and Celsius. And I'm pretty sure I'm the reason they stock these because I go over there, I buy 2 like every other day. I bought, what's today, Thursday?
Okay.
I think I bought 6 of them this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do what we're here to do.
Oh, we're already doing that.
Let's why we are here to do what we do.
Okay.
Let's talk guitars.
All right.
So, so this is Live at 5. If this is your first time tuning in, I don't think I've ever made this disclaimer.
No.
But we are from Island Music Company in La Plata, Maryland. And my name's Jack. I've been here for going on 10 years. I'm the store manager. This is Jake.
Hey.
Jake handles everything, web, behind the scenes.
On and on and on.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
Jake's been here a little longer than I have.
Not by much.
Not by much. So it's kind of fun. I mean, I often joke that Jake has been one of the more consistent things in my life in the last 10 years.
All right.
Sorry, Dad. Let's talk guitars. So every week we come in here Thursday at 5 o'clock, and we highlight some different stuff around the shop. Guitars are super easy to talk about because it's something we talk about every day here. But I also just conveniently have 7 hooks on a wall behind me that hold guitars. We do other things sometimes, but they're a little challenging. I think next week we're doing snare drums.
Ooh.
Yeah, because we have a lot of snare drums, a lot of special editions, limited editions, some crowd pleasers, fan favorites. So next week I think we're going to do some snare drums. Not the whole episode, but just we're going to sprinkle a few in there. So we might do a Hoshino episode.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Hoshino is the parent company that distributes both Ibanez and Tama. And so maybe we'll do a Hoshino episode. And
A little bit of drum, a little bit of guitar.
a little drum, a little guitar, a little bit of bass, some acoustics, some
Amps.
more drums,
Ukuleles.
pedals.
Picks.
Can't go picks. Anyways, today's episode is I've been saying our favorite guitars for under 1,000, but really I'm the one that picked them all out.
Yeah.
So they're my favorite guitars for under $1,000. Because, let's face it, there are so many guitar builders now, so many manufacturers, so many things coming out, and everything just kind of is all over the place, and you're starting to wonder, like, well, where does my dollar get me on a guitar nowadays? You know, guitars, for as long as I can remember, there's always been a guitar that costs $400. There's always been a guitar that costs $600, $7, $8, $9,000. But over the years, the quality of this price range continues to fluctuate, continues to change. And I'll say right now, guitars under $1,000 are the best they've ever been.
It is on record now.
It is on record. Come at me. But I really think so. And I want to start with Fender. I saw the two blues. I was like, wait, one's a bass, one is the guitar I'm looking for. Maybe I shouldn't have 2 energy drinks today. I'm going to sleep well tonight, let me tell you.
It's always an interesting time.
Yeah, it's a good time. You know what the funny thing is? I haven't even opened the second one yet. I had a big thing of sweet tea earlier. The sugar from that, maybe. I don't know. We're going to find out. Sometimes I think holding an energy drink is like a placebo effect, so to speak. I know that's not the right term, but sometimes I feel like holding an energy drink is enough for me to be like, I can tackle anything as long as I'm holding this. Nice.
All right.
So, Jake's like, okay.
All right, Dad.
Are you sure you're okay?
And I just got a Coke.
Caffeine. There's caffeine there.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the new Squier Sonic series. The Sonics replaced the Affinities. The Affinities were good. They were great. I had no problems with the Affinities, other than sometimes the satin neck was just a little too satin. It was like a rough neck. Like it just felt not great to slide your hand up and down. The Sonics, problem solved. These guitars are phenomenal. All right, first off, the Sonic looks like a Fender guitar. They brought in the cool Sonic Blue. What is this called? California Blue. California Blue. It's using a Laurel fingerboard, so very similar to Rosewood. Well, I'm very, very happy that the guitar is made in Mexico and lower are no longer using Palfaro. But these guitars are phenomenal guitars. The pickups are nice. The hardware is nice. It's got a nice actual floating trem for the bridge, because sometimes you would get like the Squier Affinity Strats, and they wouldn't exactly float. You could raise it, but it wasn't like a floating trim. There's a block in there, and I think there might be enough room to upgrade that block. It's hard to tell with the back plate on there. But worst case scenario, upgrade the springs, upgrade the claw. You can still do all that. You can get those parts from FU-Tone. But the neck feels great. The tuners are nice. They're nice mini tuners too, which is really cool. And what's really nice about the tuners is they're still Fender style. So even if you buy some Fender tuners, you just drop them right in. You don't have to do any drilling, no modifying. These guitars are designed to look like Fenders. Squiers have always looked like Fenders, but this one looks like a Fender. I mean, put this California Blue right next to the Aquatone Blue from the new Player 2 series. Like, it's spot on. They're great guitars. And I can't get enough of them, because if you're looking for that first guitar, you're looking for a way to get into it. Where this one stands apart, where this one is set alone, where this one stands above the rest, this phenomenal Squier Sonic Strat from Fender Guitars, $200.
That's not bad.
No, and so we're talking about great guitars under $1,000. Why not start with a $200 guitar?
Yeah.
A $200 guitar that honestly I would gig with this. I would take this to a show. I'd take it to an open mic night. I have no problem playing this guitar out. Do I have other guitars that I personally own that I think are nicer?
Yes.
I do. But I wouldn't say you can't take this to a gig.
No.
It's a bolt-on neck, but so is every other Fender, minus the Tele Deluxe. You know, like it's the modern Tele Deluxe, sorry. But it's a Fender. This is a Fender. I will die on that hill. And while we're talking about cool guitars that are Fenders, I was wrong. This is also the California Blue, not a Sonic, not a Player 2 Aquatone. I just saw the blue. Oh, we can grab one of those. I'm mobile.
Yeah. I mean,
I could run off and grab one. But this is a similar concept, right? Everything I just said about that electric guitar, throw it onto this bass. This is a Sonic P bass, and it looks just like a regular Fender bass. The California Blue is a phenomenal touch. I like that. It's one of my favorite colors. Honestly, this California Blue is probably why I would buy a Sonic from the Squier series, just because it's such a cool looking guitar. I would buy a $200 Sonic and mod it like crazy, because that's the cool thing about buying a guitar in this price point. You can change the pickups. You can change the tuners. You can change the bridge. You can change all of this, and you'll still be, honestly, on a guitar like this, I think the bass is $230. By the time you upgrade it, put change some things out, you're probably still under $500 or right around $500.
Yeah, I mean, it's the body and neck are a good building ground, and then
Yeah, because even
and
at
you,
that
and you
point,
can just do it slowly over time.
yeah, because even at that point, if you buy this base and start modding it, you might get close to $500 to $600, which puts you right around that classic vibe kind of price point. But maybe you don't want a base built to classic specs. Maybe you don't want a base that feels like a 60s. You don't want a guitar that feels like a 50s Tele. You want something more modern. Mod this, and it puts you at a similar price point, and it's still cheaper than going into the Player 2 series.
Nice segue.
I know what I'm doing. This is the Player 2 P bass. These bases are phenomenal. I forget the name of this red.
Coral red, if I remember.
I've got all these cards in front of me that I pulled off of each guitar. Coral red, yep. All right, so the Player series is where you go back into the modern Fender. You have a modern C-shaped neck, 9.5-inch neck radius, the Alnico 5 magnet pickups. You get back into the rosewood fingerboard. What's really great about these guitars when you mess with the Player 2 series from Fender is they have the rolled edges. And the rolled edges are a nice feel because the rolled edges emulate what it feels like when a guitar has been well played, when it's been maintained over the years, when it's worn in. You pick up that old guitar that you've had a while, that your dad had, your mom had, your grandpa had, your grandma had, just someone's old guitar, and you just feel your hand wrap right around that neck, and it's so comfortable. Those edges are worn in. So when you hear a guitar that has rolled fretboard edges, rolled edges, that's what that's doing. It gives you that played-in feel. It's nice. It's a comfortable feel. I like it a lot. Fender nailed it on these Player 2 guitars. Whether you're looking at the electrics or the basses, everything across the board is rosewood fingerboard. Unless you do, I think they have the maple option as well. But if it's a non-maple fingerboard, it is rosewood. It's not Pal Ferro. It's a 9.5-inch radius. It's a modern C-shaped neck. It's those special pickups. It's a phenomenal guitar or bass. Now there are some variations. The standard Player 2 series, when it comes in birch green, aquatone blue, coral red, the yellow, I can never remember the name of the yellow. It's a very interesting name.
Well, I'm looking at the fretboard as well. So
thank you. Those all come in alder. If you start messing with the stuff like they do the transparent mocha or the aged cherry burst, those come in either a chambered mahogany or a chambered ash body. Little variance in the bodies and tone there. A little bit of a price change. These come in at $7.99. If you get like an aged cherry burst Tele, they're $8.99. It's a gorgeous looking guitar. I've got one over there if you want to come check it out. But that's where I'm at with Fender. Fender covers a wide array of price ranges. Everything from $199 to up through the custom shop, and you start going through all that. We sold a guitar from the custom shop not too long ago. I think the most expensive Fender we've had come through. It was an old one. It was like pushing 10. But some of those custom shops, when you get into the master builds, like if you ever look into a master built custom shop, those get up there. But from Fender, we cover everything from $200 to like $5,000-$6,000. And so the fact that Fender alone, I can pull 3 items and have them hanging up here and be under $1,000. I could have done this whole episode just with Fender guitars. We're talking guitars under $1,000. But I wanted to show you some variances and get into some other stuff. So I've tackled basses. Now there are other phenomenal options out there, but I wanted to show the differences between these two that keep them both under $1,000. If you really want to get into some other really cool basses for that price point for under $1,000, we can get into Ibanez, Yamaha. Those are the two that I kind of lean towards when it comes to the two other than Fender and Squier. Ibanez has a phenomenal range of basses that go from like 3 to 6 or 7 to put you in that price range. Yamaha has a lot of really phenomenal basses in that price point as well. So there are options, but these are just a couple of my favorites, and I wanted to show you the variances between them.
With the fretboards, you can get some of them as slab rosewood or just maple, and I'm not even going to try to say that one.
Yeah, the Hialeah.
Yep.
Let's just call it highlighter. Highlighter yellow. I don't know how you pronounce that, but that's the yellow for the.
That's why I sent it over. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think we've even ordered any of those.
don't
I don't
remember.
Think so. I don't think I put any in the system. And I'm not gonna lie, it's probably because I couldn't pronounce the name. All right, so we're gonna move on. Let's talk. Oh, I got one more electric guitar. A trusty old Epiphone SG. This is the Epiphone SG standard stop tail. Comes with the. Let's see if we got the pickups written down on here. Yeah, the classic Pro pickups, mahogany all the way through, vintage style tuners with the tulip buttons. I mean, it doesn't get more traditional than the Epiphone. We talked about the Epiphone SG. Well, not the Epiphone SG. We just talked about the SG on last week's All Gibson episode. Remember, it stands for Solid Guitar. It came out in '61. And so I wanted to pull an Epiphone version because last week we talked about the Gibsons. And we talked about that Epiphone that comes in right around $1,000. But you can get an Epiphone SG standard for $499. Phenomenal guitar. Doesn't weigh too much. The body is nice and thin. You get but even though it's a thinner body, you get a ton of tone and resonance out of it that you wouldn't expect from a guitar that's so thin and so lightweight. And then we're going to move into some acoustics real quick. First things first, this is one of the top-selling acoustics of all time. And when I say all time, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, it really is one of the top-selling acoustics of all time. This is the Taylor GS Mini. This one particularly is the mahogany model. It's a Pele body, mahogany top, mahogany neck. Comes with a nice hard walled, soft case. So it's not a hard case. It's not a gig bag. It's a very structured, soft case. You can hit someone with it if you had to. You know what I mean? And so these guitars, they're small, right? The GS Mini. But for its size, packs such a punch. Tone, resonance, a full-bodied sound from a guitar so small, all comes down to the construction of the guitar. From the bowing on the back to the large bout into the jumbo-sized body. Remember, GS from Taylor, it was Grand Symphony. So to do a Grand Symphony Mini, this guitar literally just shrunk, you know? And it's one of the best guitars I've ever played. They make all kinds of versions and variances of it, and they're all phenomenal. They all do a great job. So if you're looking for a nice acoustic to pluck around on, to learn on, to strum around, to take with you when you're traveling, or to just add to the collection, the Taylor GS Mini is a phenomenal way to go, and I can't be steering you wrong. I've never had anyone pick up a GS Mini and be disappointed. I've had people say, this is a phenomenal guitar, it's just not for them, which is a huge recognition to say, I like this guitar, but it's not for me. So even people that don't end up taking this guitar still acknowledge how nice of a guitar that it is. The Taylor GS Mini, tried and true, one of the top sellers of all time, the GS Mini.
Taylor calls the gig bag structured.
Structured, that's the word I used. I did say structured.
I'm just letting you know. That's my job over here.
I got two more for you.
Okay.
All right, so the GS Mini. They make some with electronics. That one, however, does not have electronics. I believe it clocks in at $549.99. This here is the PRS A40. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head. Jake, you might need to look this one up too. The current lineup of PRS acoustics in the 40 series, I can't remember if it's just the A or the T. They dropped one of them. It was the Angelus and the Tonnerre, and one of them no longer is a current SKU, and I cannot remember which one. But we have both of them here at the shop. If you're looking for a guitar to start gigging with, you're an acoustic artist, you want to start playing out, you want to start playing some shows, and maybe a satin finish guitar is not your thing. You don't like the way it feels on your arm, you don't like that your pick is scratching it all up because you're a heavy strummer like myself, and you're looking for a way to get out there. Well, I'll tell you what, the A40, this one has electronics. It's a Fishman electronic system, an oven call body, Sitka spruce top, classic PRS design on the headstock and the inlays with the birds going down the neck. This guitar comes with a hard case, which is phenomenal too, because these come in at $799, and it's a phenomenal guitar to start gigging with if you're looking to stay under $1,000. especially because it includes the hard case. You could buy a guitar for the same price point or a little bit more and still have to buy a hard case for it. In today's guitar buying world, to have a guitar under $1,000 come with a hard case is a pretty rare occurrence. And it's very, very fortunate and benevolent, to speak at the PRS, to do so. I don't know why I said the word benevolent. I mean, I have Renaissance Festival on the mind or something. I don't know.
So they actually only make one of the T series, and that is the 40.
Okay, so
They don't make it any other.
Okay, so the A40 is extinct, so to speak.
No,
Discontinued.
that I'm looking on their website, and the A40 is still there, and they do the T40, but they don't make any other number of T, according to Yaris's website.
Thought that was different. All right, so they're both out there. Cool. All right, cool. All right, fun. So the A40, like I said, everything about it, nothing's changed from what he said versus what I said. Nothing's changed. It's all still there. Phenomenal guitar if you're looking to start gigging. You can always upgrade the pins with the FU tone brass or the titanium. Plus, it's just a gorgeous looking guitar. I'm not sure how the light's hitting it, but I'm going to hang it up now anyways.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking at PRS's website. I haven't been looking at it.
But yes, if you're looking to start gigging, I highly recommend the PRS Acoustics, the A series, the 40 series specifically, because they come in at that $750, $799 price range. Now, this last one, I don't know why Siri's going off on my phone right now. Whoa. Siri's like, what are you doing? I never even said anything about Siri.
As you turn it back on.
Phones. So, this next one is a little bit of a stretch, but is technically under $1,000.
Oh, here we go.
Huh?
I said, oh, here we go. We already had a discussion.
It's, guitar's under 1,000, right? 200 is under 1,000. 500 is under 1,000. 700 is under 1,000. 800 is under 1,000. $999.99 is technically under $1,000. I'm not wrong.
I have to say that you are not wrong.
I'm not wrong. And
Because
so,
it is just a penny off.
it's still under 1,000. If we were playing the Price is Right, it would matter. If Bob Barker was here right now, because we're not talking about Drew Carey, we're talking about Bob Barker, all right? If Bob Barker was here right now, he's like, oh, you're wrong. Because you would say, oh, it's 1,000, and you'd go over, right?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, it's $999.99, Bob. And he'd be like, you're under 1,000. He would know. I'd be winning. I'd be my Swiss character would be climbing the Alps right now as I'm guessing the prices. I'd be spinning the wheel. I'd be in the grand prize showcase at the end, winning a laundry set and a trip to Italy.
I have a few more chances. It was the very first one, so I still have a few more chances to get up there.
No, you don't. Not in this world. Not in this version of The Price is Right.
That you're making up.
Yeah, where Bob Barker is still the host. Anyways, so $999.99. Jake, can you mind putting that screen up? I don't know how the
Okay.
light is hitting this guitar.
Hold on. Let me find it. There it is.
Jake will put up a screen so that I can see how the light reflects off the high gloss guitars, because you don't want to be looking at it like this the whole time, because then you can't even see it. Anyways, I'll hold it a little bit like this. This is the PRS SE Custom 24 Quilt Maple. This comes in a sunburst finish, or as they call it, the black gold burst, I believe. Yep. This has the 8515S pickups, a wide, thin pattern neck, mahogany body, this really nice quality quilt maple veneer top. These guitars are phenomenal guitars. You have your coil taps, you go back and forth between humbuckers and single coils. You have your three-way switch. You can mod these with FU tone parts. You can take the block out, swap the claws and the springs. PRS makes SE locking tuners. Drop the tuners in place. Now, of course, if you start modding this guitar, you will go over $1,000. But something to be said for that, because it's already a high quality guitar at $999.99, which is under $1,000. I'm standing by that. It's under $1,000.
Technically.
Plus, it's hard to see, but if you look on our website, you'll get a good. I think we have pictures of this guitar on the website, right? It's not a stock photo.
Yeah, we should.
The quilt on this is really nice. It's very fine and it's real bubbly, and it took the grain fill of the black and the gold very well. So I'm very psyched on that guitar. As soon as we pulled it out of the case and put it on display, out of its gig bag and put it on display, I was in awe, because sometimes you find these guitars that just blow you away. They look really nice. They play really well. And this is one of my favorites in the shop right now. Even if we weren't talking about the under $1,000, I would still point anyone in the direction of this guitar. The fact that it looks the way that it does, and we still have it hanging up here, is really nice. I just think it's a gorgeous guitar. If you can't tell, I'm kind of psyched on this guitar. Yeah. So these are
No,
only.
I can't tell.
No. These are only some of the things that we offer for under $1,000. We have a huge inventory in guitars under $1,000. And if I wanted to, I could even make a permanent segment of the show where I was like, here's my under $1,000 pick of the week. And I just hold up some random guitar. Ibanez RG 470 Deluxe in Seafoam Green. Here's my, I don't know why. I don't know why that one popped into my head. Here's my Taylor 114 CE, $799. The RG 470 Deluxe Seafoam Green, $499. Or is it $549? Or is it $399? It's a 470. But it's an HSH. It has a Floyd Rose. I'm going to stick with $499.
Okay.
Well, I think. Things we have coming up. Let's see. Today is September 26th. Is November our next event?
Maybe.
Yeah, November 16th, the holiday string giveaway. I'm very excited for this. We've been talking about it the last few weeks. I'm going to talk about it some more. November 16th, it's our holiday string giveaway. You bring in a non-perishable food item. We're going to pretend this is a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. You can bring in a can of chicken noodle soup, a bag of rice, a sealed bag of rice. Okay, we don't want your open food. Make sure make sure the food has never been opened, right? We don't want to be giving people who need food used and opened food. That's not cool. It's not the Salvation Army, all right? We're not giving them our used clothing. We're giving them food that they can open, they can cook, they can have for the holidays. That's the whole point of this. You bring food in, non-perishable food items, never opened, never used, never eaten, and when these foods get donated. When you donate these foods, you bring in one guitar per person, and you get that guitar restrung for free. Now, it doesn't have to be a guitar. It could be a bass. It could be a violin. It could be a mandolin. It could be a ukulele. It can be a
Guitar.
I don't think we have sitar. We probably have sitar strings.
I think we do. I could be wrong.
Well, I'm pretty sure we have sitar strings, but I'll tell you right now, if you bring in a sitar to get restrung for free, you're probably not picking that up the same day. You're probably going to have to come back for that one. 12-string guitars, things that have more than the standard amount of strings, you'd probably have to wait on, just because they're a little more time-consuming.
Yeah.
That's all. Jake, do you know the difference between a violin and a fiddle?
Which way do you want to?
A violin is strings.
Mm-hmm.
A fiddle's got strings. And with that, we're signing off. This is Live at 5 here at Island Music Company. We'll see you November 16th for the holiday string giveaway. Stay tuned for more details. We've got all kinds of companies that are going to be sponsoring the event. We'll have the prizes that we can start talking about as giveaways in the next few weeks. We will have live entertainment. There's one, I can't even talk about it because we don't know if it's happening yet, but by gosh, am I excited that it might happen. And I can't wait to share that information with all y'all, all right? It's going to be a big one. I'm excited. I threw my hat on the ground and everything. I said, hey, boom. All right, I'm Jack.
I'm Jake.
I don't know what happened today, but we'll see you next week on Live at 5.
See you.